Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Black men, stop walking behind your woman. And yeah, I mean that literally. Stop walking behind your woman. I'm gonna let y'all know from the rip, right? This might be a little bit of a rant. I might slip into a rant. I'm keep it try to keep it calm, but I gotta speak on something that's been pissing me off since I've been little. And that's when I see an adult black man walking behind his woman. Let me say that again. When I see an adult black man walking behind his woman. I mean, I'm out and about today and I see this shit like for the umpteenth time. In fact, I see it so much that it's more the norm. When if I see a brother like walking ahead of his woman and she a black woman, I'm like, that actually like catches my attention because I don't see it as much. But I see plenty of occasions where a black man is walking behind his woman. And I'm gonna tell you what, just on a basic level, if the woman is leading the man, she don't respect him. You know, he's basically living according to her will and what she wants done. She's basically controlling that relationship. And see, a lot of these independent sisters like that shit. And in fact, seek out those type of men. You know, we might call them simps, weak, whatever. Um, I don't really get into that, what the titles or the semantics of it. Bottom line is, fellas, if you one of those men who do that, stop that shit immediately. Because I'm gonna tell you what, I don't give a shit about political correctness or whatever. A man is also always supposed to be leading a woman. And that's just nature. It ain't no political thing. That's just nature. The woman is really supposed to always be on the inside. You know, she's supposed to be in a position where the man is protecting her. The man is built as a warrior for a reason. You know, and the woman really, if this society was working right, the women would be the ones staying home, taking care of the home and everything, the inside, while the men go out and hunt, conduct the wars and everything. But see, we got something twisted in the black community with this de facto matriarchy. You know, women think it's totally normal to be leading a man. And see, here's the funny thing. They'll lead that man, you know, maybe even marry him and stuff, but they don't respect that man. Because how can a woman respect a man and he's not protecting her? And, you know, and a part of that, too, it is something, you know, well, I'll get into that other something in a second. One thing I've noticed, say what y'all want about white men, it's very rare you see a white woman leading a white man. Very rare. You know, even these youngins out where I live, you know, they be walking, they be having some fine young hot white girl walking behind them and shit, like 2 feet behind them. And these dudes, they look like they look like if that woman even think about even walking beside them sometime, even beside them, they look like they'll take that woman's head off. And that shoot, every day the women be happy as shit. See, understand something. A woman in her nature isn't happy if she's leading a man. I don't give a shit what they say. You know, a woman always needs to feel a sense of security with a man. Like he gonna go out and, you know, do the hunting. Like he's going to lead. And you know, sometimes you even gotta force that shit. You know, I know there's a woman I used to hang with. We still cool and shit, but she was one of those types and stuff who, you know, kind of did what she wanted around men. And you know, we'd be walking or something, and she'd be trying to walk to the outside of me and shit. You know, closest to the street or something. And I would physically pick her little ass up and move her to the inside of me. And that leads into something else. And this is I alluded to this early. I can't stand when I drive down the street and I see a man and woman walking and she's closest to the curb. That shit's a violation, man. And I don't give a fuck what anybody think about it, or you get some idiots might say, "Oh, that's some simping or to do some, yeah, she can walk to the outside." Fuck that shit, man. A man always wants to be in a position where he's shielding the woman, because in shielding the woman, it actually brings out the woman in her. It makes her relax. See, a man, if he really want to get pussy from a woman, he need to relax her, and she need to feel safe with him. She need to feel like he can handle shit. Now, when she walking to the outside on the street or she leading him, she don't really feel safe. She just tolerating that man. That's why a lot of those women like that, on a for real, those are the type who would get some little big 6'5" hominy grit eating motherfucker who with a mean streak, who would tear that shit up. They don't put up with that shit. And that's a universal thing. That ain't even a black woman thing. Seriously, they ain't even a black woman thing. They want. Look, I don't care. I know some of y'all got some issues with thugs, but I don't care if a man wears a suit and tie to work. I don't care if he's the choir director. I don't care how important his 6-figure white collar job is. He gotta have a little something in him that will fuck a motherfucker up. And a woman, that shit need to be communicated to a woman. He gotta have that vicious streak in him. And part of that vicious streak is to be that soldier who's going to protect the woman. And they don't got nothing to do with the money. Like, when I say protect, physically protect. But how's a man protecting a woman if he's walking right behind her? She's ahead, so if something come for him, she got to face it first. So then when some thug ass motherfucker come along, yeah, she gonna get wet naturally. And shit, and like I said, that's some universal shit, right? Cause I remember years ago when I had this apartment, and in some apartments you can hear everything going on in the next apartment. And it was this white girl, right? And she had this boyfriend, right? And he was a little punk motherfucker, she was getting a law degree or something like that, and I think he was some attorney or something. And I remember you hear him having sex and shit, and I peeped that she wasn't enjoying it too much, because I ain't never hear her voice while they were having sex, but I heard his. In fact, she tried to tell him to be quiet because they knew I could hear him. And that dude tried to show out. And I was just like, look at this punk motherfucker. And I saw him, and he was a little punk motherfucker. And then it was funny. One night, they apparently broke up, because one night, it was a Halloween night too. I woke up, all I heard was her saying, and somebody was pounding the shit out of her. I was like, God damn. I woke up at 2 o'clock hearing that shit, and then went back to sleep. 3 o'clock. She's yelling, come at me, come at me, come at me. I was like, there's some shit. And then when I saw this motherfucker, this one of those big, this wasn't no little twerpy white boy. This one of those big, like, scared the shit out of other white boy type of white boys. He's like one of those types that even a thug brother would just try to, like, you know what, I need to just be cool with this motherfucker. One of those types, like you hope he cool with black people type of white boys. It's a big looking motherfucker. Be here with cool as shit though. Yeah, that was a cool ass motherfucker, man. Big 6'4", like hominy greeted motherfucker. Look like he look like he did cereal with a ladle and shit, man. For y'all old school people, Jethro Bodine looking motherfuckers, shit. That motherfucker was tearing this shit because he gave me a look too. He said, yeah, brother, I'm tearing the shit out this motherfucker. And she looking like blessed out and shit. But he also looked like he'll fuck somebody up, man. And, you just got to be that way just in general, man. You just got to be that way. Let me get serious for a second, man. And that's why I'm saying all this, man. Men, never have some self-respect. Never follow behind a woman. Trust me. Her pussy don't got a cape hanging out that shit. I don't care how good that shit feels for you. First of all, if you doing some shit like that, you only gonna get it once every 2 weeks anyway. Trust me, she ain't gonna get wet as the mother. If she leading you, you gotta lead the woman. And you don't have to be a hard ass with her. You just gotta have a velvet glove over a steel fist. Seriously, you still gotta handle her a certain way with a certain softness, but underneath that softness need to be some steel. Cause she gotta know there's certain lines she don't cross. And one of the things is you're the boss. You leading. And if the woman, if you meet a woman and she ain't down for that program, all right, then y'all ain't meant to be together. Seriously, fellas, have some self-respect. And I know some of y'all out there done do it. Y'all don't have to identify yourselves. Y'all don't have to come in the comments. I don't need to hear the story. Just have some self-respect. Stop following behind that woman. For all y'all young guys, I get a lot of young guys coming on there calling me OG or Uncle Ron. Don't follow after a woman. I don't give a fuck how big the booty is. I don't care how cute she is. I don't care how good her head game is. You always lead that woman. You always walk towards the curb. You closest to the curb. Even when you sleeping, even when you in bed with her, you sleep closest to the door. If she gotta go to the bathroom, she need to climb over your ass. Seriously, and I mean that's some basic shit. I think a lot of dudes they not really taught. Now somebody might say think it's small, but like I said, it puts women in that female state. I mean, and it's deep to the point you shouldn't even really let her drive you. And in fact, a pimp told me. This a pimp. He said, don't even let a woman sit on your lap, because if she's sitting on your lap, she's higher than you. Think about it. She's looking down on you. And I was like, damn, that's some deep ass shit. Seriously. And I ain't gonna say that other one. I might get an argument for this last thing I'll say. I'll say it anyway. Sometimes you even need to limit how much you even let her get on top and ride you. Cause I know it feel good. Sometimes you just want to do it, but limit that shit. Don't if she one of those types. Cause I dealt with a woman like that. She want to be on top all the time, and I'll be like, well, that ain't gonna work out, baby. I made her earn like riding on top and shit. You don't even seriously, don't even let them get on top, cause it's like you always gotta let them know. It's like, nah, you dominant. Now, like I said, that's gonna be tough, cause you get some women know how to really ride and shit, and that shit feel good. But you gotta limit that shit. I just say, just limit that shit. Like if she do something for you, just do something real nice, give it to her as a reward. Otherwise, fuck that. Always be in a dominant position. Always lead, never follow. And for the fellas out there, especially the brothers, I know some of these women don't want to do any of that shit. Get women from a place who will. That's it. Seriously, it's really that fucking simple. Don't compromise that shit, because, like I said, at the end of the day, that woman ain't gonna respect you. If you falling behind her, the second you walk behind her ass, that's when she lost respect for you, and she just waiting for that big, that big oops motherfucker, and big Neanderthal knuckle dragging motherfucker to tear shit apart, break her damn back. She just waiting for him. That means if she putting up with, if she's allowing you to stay in that relationship or still dealing with you anyway, that's cause she just ain't met the motherfucker yet. That's seriously, she ain't met that like brute motherfucker, goon ass motherfucker yet. Seriously. So just mark my words, and seriously, trust me. For y'all fellas out there who's doing that now, do a little experiment. You start walking ahead of them. You gonna get some. At first, the woman is gonna think something wrong. She might even argue with you, but just insist on leading. Just lead. In fact, don't even discuss it with her. Just lead. And you're gonna get some fight at first. Two things gonna happen. She either gonna fall in line, which is good, or she gonna roll out, which is good, because like I said, you don't need her. So anyway, that's it for today, y'all. That's a wrong version of a rant, man. I stay calm all the time, and you ain't gonna get no crazy shit from me. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all fellas later. Peace.